Good morning, everybody. It is September 6th, 8:10 a.m. Welcome to my channel. Yesterday, markets kind of balanced. Spire, yes, actually broke the previous day's lows when the Nasdaq did not. Nasdaq QQQ did not break the lows, but it did in pre-market here in the overnight session, anticipating something. I mean, the markets broke lower, so we'll get into all that. We have non-farm payrolls and unemployment, huge data coming today. So that's gonna this is very important. So we'll look at that live at 8:30 together. All right. So let's get into this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, most traded price of the month, actually the year, the month, the week, and the previous day, along with anchor VWAPs. Is my edge, gives me my roadmap, two scenarios, long and short. Okay. Now this market has had relatively high volume and volatility, which makes for the price action to not to be as easy as to read. All right. Now I usually use my market internals, and they're usually spot on. With this volatility, their importance have taken a couple notches down for me, and more structure has been key trading these markets. So, generally when tech or whatever, the internals are super strong, that's something you don't want to short in normal market conditions. It just doesn't go well. In this market condition, it could be up and within 2, 3 minutes, the market's falling. So you got to kind of adapt to the times, basically. Okay. So, with that being said, hopefully, if you're new, you can subscribe to my channel. Okay. Hopefully, you could just join me. And you know what? Have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea. Let me do the summary of yesterday. Let me tell you what's going on in the news and what stocks are moving up, what stocks are moving down. Right? We'll go over the economic calendar, news. We'll go over daily charts, and of course the main event at 8:30 a.m. I go over the Nasdaq and the ES futures, and I analyze that, and that's my roadmap for long and short scenarios for the day. Okay, and then of course, if you want to see how I day trade in detail, I make reels on YouTube shorts. All right, and you can go to my TikTok. All right, and do that. Now, if you enjoy my content, please always smash the like button. That helps my channel out. I'm trying to get more subs. Hoping to reach 200. That would mean a lot. I'm edging towards it, but we'll see. Hopefully, it gets more. Of course, you can follow me on X. That's at Gonzo719. And like I said, you can check out my day trade reels on TikTok, and that's Gonzo719 Trader. All right. I think it's time to get right into the futures watch list here. And let's see who's leading the pack. And it's the VIX. The VIX is up 9.6%. No surprise. We're at a 21.8 VIX. No surprise with non-farm payrolls and unemployment coming this morning at 8:30. Okay, people hedging. All right, you don't want to be caught. So now crude is bottoming here. I don't know how much farther we can go here in crude. Crude had crude inventories, I believe, yesterday, and it was a huge draw, more than expected. Usually that's bullish, but now you have to think if a recession is on taps, that would mean oil is not going to be in demand, but you just have to see, right? But oil also is at like a bottom. Usually, when you get around the $60 a barrel and change or whatever, that signifies a bottom recently of so I'm watching crude. Ether is up 0.51. All right, 30-year bonds being bought. They're up 0.35. Silver is flat. Gold is flat. All before NFP. This makes sense. Dollar's flat. Bitcoin was up more before, but it's flat. Down 0.11. The Dow is down 0.39. The Russell's down 0.47. ES down 0.57. And the 10-year yield is down 0.64% at 3.7 yield. All right, now the Nasdaq is down 1%. Broadcom did not help this. Broadcom right now is down 7.11%. That's a heavy weighted stock in the QQQ and SPY, right? It's one of those heavily weighted stocks. That's what's going on, all right, in futures. All right, so down 1%. We broke a key support level in the Nasdaq. Okay, didn't think that would happen prior to these numbers coming out. So let's move on to the Mag 7 Plus. Who's leading the pack here? That's Coinbase. Now Coinbase did get an upgrade. All right, and it's at a key level. It's got to stay above 160. All right. Now that's the only leader. All right. Now we got a bunch of laggards. We'll go into like close to the 1%ers here. Amazon's down 0.97, AMD down 1.28, Nvidia is down 1.5, down to 105.60 about. All right, Broadcom is the laggard. Earnings did not impress, even though they beat, down 7.11%. All right, so Broadcom is down. Right, like I said, that's a heavy weighted stock. So and it's tradable now. It used to be like insane amount of money. That's what's going on there, right? Okay. What else was going on? I saw this morning. We'll get into it. Moving on. Top sectors. We got Chevron. It's only up 0.05 though. Okay. Chevron's kind of bottoming out too. I'm trying to work a position with that. It's at a key support level. So, like I said, crude's kind of oversold. So we'll have to see. Right? Things can be oversold longer than you think. So, let's see laggards here. These Salesforce, Eli Lilly down 0.41, Qualcomm down 0.43. Qualcomm has some news as well. We'll talk about it later. Uber's down 0.44, and PepsiCo. PepsiCo, that's kind of interesting. PepsiCo is down 0.74. That's interesting because that's a staple. But there you go. That's a little surprising. PepsiCo would be down. Now, they did have a dividend. That might be the reason why. Let's see, dividend. I think that's the reason why. Now, if I'm right, I believe from the close of yesterday, you have to take off $1.35 for the dividend. That's probably the reason. Okay? Because otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. Excuse me. All right, let's get to the swing trade list. The more broad, not heavily weighted stocks here. Who's up? Chewy. 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 Ooh. Wait a minute. Crude. I just got my most traded price of the week alert in my ear. That crude. So that means crude's bouncing. All right, I gotta pay attention to that. All right, JetBlue up 1.48. AstraZeneca up 1.1. There's not a lot of leaders here. Lulu. There you go. There's bonds. TLT is getting bought over 100. That's interesting, right? People might be buying that. Rate cuts coming. Maybe people are getting ready for a recession possibly coming. Don't know. Okay. Now, let's look at laggards. There's a lot of them. But who's the big ones? Super Microcomputers is getting destroyed lately. Destroyed. Micron down, Dell, Vertiv, ARM. This is all like data center, like Western Digital hard drives. This is semis. Vertiv's like cooling and power supplies. This is all like data center stuff. CrowdStrike IT down. Riot, that's kind of Bitcoin related. SoundHound, yeah, Mara. I mean, bunch here, not super down, right? So I think that rounds out that. Let's go back to leaders. Let's go back to top sectors, and we go to the guts, the sectors of our markets. Okay, there's not really a leader. There's nothing that's of positive here, we have negatives. So who's bottoming out here? You got industrials down 0.21, financials down 0.24. XLK, the largest weighted sector in the S&P 500, is down 1.01%. Semiconductors down 1.5%. Okay, 1.5. That's usually risk off for the market. All right, Broadcom is not helping that. All right, Broadcom is not helping that at all. Now, what I didn't forgot to mention, I think I mentioned it yesterday, over the weekend. If you looked at healthcare, was at all-time highs. Staples, I believe, is close to all-time highs. Industrials, close to all-time highs. Financials were at all-time highs. That was probably not sustainable, right? Berkshire Hathaway had a monster run and it finally sold off. It's the largest holding in financials. So technology was holding actually well relatively weak to the other sectors. Okay, now the other sectors, I'm not saying are taking a big dump, but financials in particular and healthcare yesterday finally had some selling. Okay, that's just what's going on under the hood. All right, let's get over to news. Okay, we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment coming at 8:30 in 9 minutes. Boom. So we'll look at that live together. And I don't even know if I'll have time to analyze anything, but we'll watch it together. All right, so obviously, non-farm payrolls. All right, we're expecting 160, previously 114. Now, these are tricky, the non-farm payrolls, because they constantly get revised. They're not as reliable, but the unemployment is really the main event today. And actually, they're saying, I just read this morning, we're expecting 4.2, which would be a zero point 0.1 reduction in unemployment. Okay. We're expecting that, I saw this morning, because of Hurricane Beryl. I believe that was in Texas. I'm pretty sure. They're saying that was the reason for the unexpected unemployment rise. So actually, they're expecting a zero point 0.1 tick down. Okay. Now, if this thing goes to 4.5 or 4.6, that is bad news. Bad news is bad news, signaling a recession possibly around the corner. All right. Fed might have to make a 50 basis point cut or more. We'll have to see. It's very tricky with that because, like, initially rate cuts could be bullish, but then ultimately, why are we doing rate cuts? Well, something might be broken, so it kind of gets all fuzzy from there. All right. Now, after that, we have Fed Williams speaking at 8:45 a.m. and at 11 a.m. Fed Waller on a Friday. Fed speak. I don't know if this guy's going to be speaking through the open, which is a pain in the butt, but that's what's going on there. Okay. Now, as far as news, let's go into maybe just sum it up here. So here, see, U.S. job growth seen picking up in August. Unemployment rate easing to 4.2. U.S. job growth likely picked up in August, with the unemployment rate forecast to have dropped to 4.2, which would offer more assurance that an orderly labor market slowdown remains intact and cement expectations of a quarter point interest rate for the Federal Reserve this month. Okay. Then you got Qualcomm has explored acquiring pieces of Intel chip design business. Broadcom forecasts lukewarm quarterly revenue despite AI chip surge. Chipmaker Broadcom forecasts fourth quarter revenue slightly below Wall Street expectations on Thursday, hurt by sluggish spending in its broadband segment. Then you have Google abusing power over website ads, UK regulator says. All right, so let's look at some of these. I'm just trying to get into detail. I just gave you some headlines. We don't need to get into details. Those are just the headlines. Let's see Broadcom. JP Morgan raises target price, right, to 210 from 200 on Broadcom. Let's see. Costco, Oppenheimer raises target price from 955 from 925. Costco's a beast. All right. And we got the news coming. All right. I think we're going to go into upgrades and downgrades here. Let's go to upgrades. We have Coinbase upgraded from underweight to equal weight with a price target of 206. Currently at 160. Okay. Hood Robinhood got an upgrade from underweight to equal weight. Neo upgraded from neutral to overweight. X, which is steel, got a neutral to outperform upgrade. All right, let's go to downgrades. Downgrades. Anything here to note? Supermicro Computer downgraded from, wow, a price target from 950 down to 500, and a rating from overweight to neutral. So that is, oof, 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 oof. All right, go to initiations. We have, let's see here, bookings initiated at a hold. We have Expedia Group initiated at a hold. Like I said, Honeywell initiated equal weight. Let's see here. 3M initiated underweight. MicroStrategies overweight. Price target of 146. Stanley Black and Decker equal weight. Price target of 107. All right, so that's that, and we go to price target changes. Let's see here. Go to target raise first. Let's see. DocuSign target raised. Broadcom target raised. All right, now we go to target lowers. Nothing really to talk about there. Okay, nothing really to talk about there. Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap that up. All right, we can get right into daily charts before this news drops in 3 minutes. All right. All right. So in the SPY yesterday, took out the previous day's lows and then got bought up and went right to the 50-day moving average. Right. That's what happened yesterday. And we went all the way up to 554 almost. Okay. So 547. That's where we're at right now. 547. Pretty much at the lows of yesterday. Okay. Pretty bearish. We're location right now. All right. Let's look at the live look of futures. There it is. Just trending lower. Right. About to touch this 100-day moving average at 54.37 in futures. Okay. Let's go to Qs. Qs almost have identical days, pushed up and sold off. And where do we close? Right at the 100-day moving average in the Qs. Where are we at now? 457.15. 457.15. You're gapping lower in the Qs. So Qs are obviously weaker. Let's look at the live look of futures. You can see here, well, we did push all the way down to this level I talked about yesterday, 187.25. That is a monthly low. Not last month's lows, but the previous month's lows. I think that is July's lows. All right, that's where we went there. Okay. News dropping in less than a minute. All right, so let's just go back. We'll just stick on this chart, the futures. We'll change this over to, let's change it over to like an hourly chart. There we go. And we'll just see here what these futures do with this number. Should get some pulsing coming up in this candle. All right, we got 10 seconds till news drops. Here's the pulse. Boom. Ooh, whoa. Whoa, look at that candle shoot up. Look at that candle shoot up, boy. Remember, initial reaction. Let's see here. All right. Unemployment in line. Okay. Let's look at it together. Unemployment expected 4.2, came in 4.2. All right. Now, non-farm payrolls Expected 160 actually missed, came in at 142. So not as many jobs added. Okay. So tale of two stories there. A miss on the non-farm payrolls, in line, in line with unemployment, in line with unemployment. Okay. So go back here. Now you got a big wick. Now honestly, this could be a nothing burger because look, unemployment ticked down zero point 0.1. It came in line with what they thought. So status quo there. But the non-farm payrolls missed. Non-farm payrolls missed. So this could be a nothing burger. Look at this candle now. It's basically like a big doji, right? That big wick up, you just crushed all shorts. So you basically just you crushed shorts and then took longs out. So what does that mean? It's going to lead to a doji, right? Because it's basically like you just destroyed shorts and longs in one candle. Let's look over at the NASDAQ. Should be very similar looking. Yeah, there's the NASDAQ. Look at that. Came right up to the 50-day moving average and ticked right off of it. Isn't that crazy? Right up to it. Fell right from it. And look at the ES. Almost came up to the 50-day moving average. Now this is on an hourly chart. So that, you know, we can maybe disregard those levels. Let's see here. Go back to this chart. Yeah. So now let's look at what's changed here in the futures watch list. Let's see some of these numbers here. VIX is still up, right? We got to literally look at what is changed here. Remember, certain things were flat. So Ether's up, silver's up, crude is up, which was up before. Bitcoin is getting more love right now. It's up 1%. Okay. Gold is up. 30-year bonds being bought. The Dow is down, not as much. ES is down, not as much. The dollar was flat before. It is down. The dollar is down. Okay, that's usually better for equities, but you're down kind of at that support level again, and that's where it gets tricky because then it means a devaluing of the dollar, which is not great. So it's tricky there. ES down 0.42, Russell down 0.73. Russell and Nasdaq was down 1% earlier. It's pairing those losses. All right, Russell down 0.8. 10-year yield. Okay, people are buying bonds. Yields falling 1.58%. Okay, very interesting there. All right, very interesting. So you got our Mag 7 now, and Coinbase is now up 1.1%. Bitcoin is loving it. For some reason, Bitcoin is getting love, and Coinbase is getting love. Okay, and Tesla. Everything else is down, but now Nvidia is almost flat from yesterday. So who knows? Really, who knows? That's what this comes down to. All right. What I'm going to do now is we're going to go into futures and see if there's anything. I mean, sure, there's always is what we could talk about here. All right, we're going to look at structure. Be a little quicker today, just because this is now I feel that the news was more nothing burger. Okay, let's look at this together. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, that is not what I wanted to show you guys. That is what I wanted to show you guys. All right, let's look at this together. All right. Like I said, conflicting news, but unemployment was the main event and it came in line. So, all right, let's look at this together. We have a lot of excess here still, right? Then we have value area, and then we have from this morning a little more excess. Okay, so interesting, right? What is price doing right now, right? So just look at this profile with me. You got some excess now to the downside, right? Looks a little more like a bell curve, right? I'm not saying this is bullish or bearish, just that price test it lower is going back up. Okay, do we go up to the mean here? All right, most traded price is around 55.34 the week. The most traded price of the 24 hours 55.26, basically this area. Do we go back there? I don't know, right? I don't know. So we had a low put in down all the way here, 54.66. There's a gap that's still unfilled here, this little blue, that we couldn't fill yesterday. Overnight sessions don't count. Okay, they don't count. So really, the more you stay under these levels, that's bearish. Price is here. All right, price is here. So right in here, this is a very key level. So 55.23. Now you can see this is value area high from yesterday. It happens to be the open. Value area high. Remember, value area is 70% trading volume for the day. So this is the value area of yesterday. All here. This blue, cyan. Right? So you got value area high and value area low. 70% of that's the meat of trading volume yesterday. Okay, that's why it's important. Value area high and value area low. So value area high lines up right with the overnight high and the 24-hour most traded price. So that is going to be a key level for sellers to defend. Okay, sellers to defend. So I'm going to be looking for what the market does in this area. Okay, notice yesterday the market had problems with the month to date and week to date VWAP. Okay, so I think this let's see here, this supply zone got ripped. Yep. All right, so this is gone. That is gone. This is the price action that's happening from NFP. So you can see this consolidation here. Now it's just ripped up. So can it rip up and take out these shorts, right? That's what we got to see. Okay. Now inventory was 100, almost close to 100% net short. That is not an edge anymore. Okay. Market opened here. You had all the price was down here. You were close to 100% net short. Well, now that's been taken back. That's not no longer an edge. Okay. No longer an edge there. Okay. So it's really all about, can the market get above this level? Can it get above 55.35? And you have the month to date and week to date VWAP waiting for you right there. So if it can find acceptance above there, can you start to move up? Possibly. If you can't find acceptance above there, you possibly now roll over. Okay. I might only have time today to do ES. I will see. All right. So let's get into some scenarios here. Not sure who's with me today, but let's talk about scenarios. So I'm going to start off with the bearish scenario. Okay. So we just talked about it, right? This area here, you have a weak high. That's value area high from yesterday, overnight high, the 50%, the retracement of yesterday, the midpoint of yesterday's session, all right, in this area. Okay. What does the market do when it comes up there? Okay, because this is more structure based. Can the market push up here? And can it find acceptance above that box, that level? Okay, acceptance is not this, and then we do this. That is not acceptance. That's a rejection. And then, guess what? you got longs from here. Okay, you can take this out and go. And I don't know if this happens, but you got to put it into scenarios. Okay, you can take out that overnight low, and you don't got much. It's all this demand zone here. Okay, 54.30 something. Okay, that is very real, but I don't know. Okay, that is very real. Now, as far as bull, okay, um, as far as the bullish case, what I do notice here, okay, is I have to mention this, okay. The most traded price of the overnight is right here. So those were shorts now that they just got beat out, right? But now we have longs from down here. So what you want to see, honestly, bullish wise, it's a little tough here. I'm being honest with you. If you go back down here, that's not really bullish, right? So kind of want to see how, depends how strong the market is, okay? I want to see if you can come up and hold, hold this. Because then if you do, and the market stays strong, take out these single prints finally and work yourself into this supply up here. If you break this supply, you have very weak structure, and you can possibly go all the way back up to the most traded price of the month, 56, what is that, 56.37. I do not know if that happens at all, okay, but it's a good shot to possibly, if you take out, you have to go up and hold this level. Okay, anything below this is bearish, structured bearish. Okay, so it's very hard for me to be like, okay, well, if we come down here, I want to be long. Probably not. Okay, generally I would, but in this case, not sure about that. All right. Okay, we do still have about 5 minutes. I'm gonna get into the Nasdaq. All right, let's see what we can talk about there. Structure might be different. I don't know. Let's look at it, because I remember I do this live with you guys. All right, here we go. All right, let's look at structure. We have excess all the way to the top here. Then we have our value area, and then we have excess to the bottom. Right, so kind of bell curvy, a little disproportionate here, but that's because of the big move lower. But we do have the value area. Okay, do have value area. Now this was a key support level, 188.24, that I was looking at yesterday, and the market could not break it yesterday. There's a gap down here that is unfilled. Okay, remember, overnight does not count, so that gap is still unfilled. Right now, this, I could probably get rid of this supply zone here. Let's break this out. Yeah, this supply zone is gone. Okay. Well, G-Man, I see your question. Price always wants to go to high volume nodes. Okay, those are the magnets. Now, low volume nodes are, remember, they're like pockets. Think of them as support and resistance. And low volume nodes go two ways. Either they act as support or resistance, or they get blown right through. Okay. Now, let's talk about what's going on here. Most traded price right now is 190. That happened to be the most traded price of yesterday and the most traded price of the real-time trading hours. Okay, price is below this. That's structurally bearish. Okay, structurally bearish. What do we have below us? That 185.44, the most traded price of the last year in the rolling year. All right, I talked about that's where I believe the Nasdaq can still go, and if it will get stopped there, it will get stopped there. But if it doesn't get stopped there, oh my, that's a bad sign. Okay, now we have an election coming. September and October are generally seasonally bearish. Okay. People might want to de-risk before an election. Still have that in a thesis, but again, I'm a day trader, so that's more of a swing trader thing, a macro thing, but like I keep that in my mind. Okay. So we're going back into value area, price right now. You have this little pocket of balance here in the NASDAQ. Okay. Again, this level 190 is key right here. Okay. You have a weak high right here, confluence high, right? Like the overnight highs is 190.32, but 190, this area here, you got month to date, week to date VWAP right here. You came into supply zone yesterday and sold off. I want to see, can the market find acceptance above this level? If it can, there's poor structure above to rip apart. But this area really has to get cut through in order to give me confidence with that. Okay. Now to the downside, unfilled gap below us, overnight low all the way down here. So this is really telling me this could be the knife in the ground for sellers could have just had their last shot here, but I'm not sure. But also this means is everybody's from here got long, and now there's liquidity to take them out and go to that most traded price. This is all I don't know. This is just what I'm showing you guys. We're actually not in the best place right here, in the middle of value. It's not a good trade location at all. You got single prints here too. So this can get taken out, all right? And really, at the end of the day, let's talk about it. And I'm going to take off here in 2 minutes, in a minute, all right? Real quick, I'm going to give you guys what I think here. Okay, right here is all that matters. Okay, this area, I'd say even up to here, because NASDAQ has wider volatility and wider ranging. So what I could see happening is push up, and really I'd almost wait until even it touches month to date, week to day VWAP. If it comes up here and gets rejected and you start to do this, that puts this gap in danger to get filled and to take out the overnight low and to hit this most traded price of the year. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Now as far as the long, for me to really think long, market's got to be strong, push above here, even if it hits this, comes back but holds and holds, finds acceptance of this level, acceptance. Well, you really need to take out this supply zone, but then if you do, it could be off to the races. Okay, it's really kind of all I'm looking at. It's kind of basic today. Got to sit back and watch, take it in. It's Friday. All right, so everybody have a great weekend. Stay patient today, and I'll see you guys on Monday. All right.